Peggy 16.
Savior. Monster. Guardian. Vigilante. The preservation of life. So often, the justification for taking it. Humans, elevating those that keep guard until they watch too close, and the so-called hero condoning the very act he would condemn. Transgressions of the past shape actions to come. As offspring turns into adversary, yesterday's loss leads to madness. And God becomes tyrant, becomes outcast, becomes dust, as factions dissolve and form, and lust for power enslaves all. Such folly and futility in the grand design. Curious how lines once clearly defined become blurred. Perhaps it is time for them to be redrawn.
Hey everybody, we're coming at you live from E3 here in the PlayStation booth at the LA Convention Center. I am joined by none other than legendary Mortal Kombat co-creator, Ed Boon. One of my favorite guys in the biz. Always a smile on your face, I love it. You're a diabolical genius. You just have so much fun with this stuff.
Thanks.
And you've got Injustice too.
Yes, we do.
This is really exciting.
Yeah, we're very excited to kind of give people their first look at the game here, and one of the few live gameplay things here with the game showing us, what's new, the new characters that are in the game, and this new gear system. We're very excited. That's
great. It's an honor to have you here. It's an honor to have the game playable here. We're going to be checking out some actual in-game battles. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So first up, walk us through these characters. I obviously recognize Batman. Who else do we have?
Yeah, we have 3 returning characters: Aquaman, Batman, and Superman. And 2 or 3 characters new to the Injustice universe: Atrocitus, who's like a Red Lantern, Gorilla Grodd, one of Flash's villains, and Supergirl. Who is very much in the forefront of things lately.
Yeah, so, she is.
Yeah. So we have that and three environments and a good demonstration of our gear system. So it's a lot of cool new stuff to show you.
Awesome. And I'm sure we'll be seeing this. Man, Atrocitus looks really cool. I'm sure we're going to be seeing this, but essentially, as I understand it, when you win a match, you essentially get like kind of a loot drop. Is that kind of how that works?
Yeah, exactly. We call it a gear system, and in the simplest of terms, gear can be described as costume pieces that power up your character. So there are a number of ways. You're always going to be getting, like you said, like these drops of gear that will, a new cowl for Batman, new utility belt, new boots for Superman, and they come with it, power-ups for your character, so you can do a little bit more damage on the environments, or your attack damage is a little bit more, or your defensive blocking damage is a little more, and tons of variables, and you're constantly getting them. You're constantly deciding which ones you want to use based on the kind of Batman that you want to craft. And so effectively it's you're making your Batman, I'm making my Batman. we might meet up online,
Yeah.
and it's yours versus mine,
That's awesome.
and it's different. They look different too. So that's the customization and personalization is really what kind of sets this apart from certainly The Last Injustice or any other fighting game.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before in a fighting game. It actually is one of those things where I never would have thought of it, but now that you mention it, it's like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah,
I want that in my fighting game.
Yeah.
And I mean, Injustice, we're seeing some great footage here. This game's looking real sharp. NetherRealm, known for high production values in general, and we've seen that with Mortal Kombat X, now we're seeing it with Injustice 2. So tell me a little bit about these two characters we're seeing here, and some of the the pros and cons that they have.
Yeah, these are the two of the new characters that we've had here. Atrocitus is basically, if you think of Green Lantern, except for he's a big monster, has hate, and he has a lot of blood. He's kind of a anti-hero version of Green Lantern, but a lot meaner. Yeah.
Bam!
Yeah. And he's with Gorilla Grodd, who's one of Flash's villains. And Gorilla Grodd is kind of like, he's a gorilla, and he's had all these crazy animal-like attacks, but he also has a high intellect. So he has telekinetic abilities. He can make you beat yourself up. He can levitate in the air and stuff. And so it's a great, I think they're two great additions to our roster.
One of the things I love about what you guys did with Injustice 1, which was a huge hit with me and my friends, we love that game. It's got such a great sense of humor, but it's still I think we got, what are these called again? Ultimate?
The transitions, yeah.
Oh, the transitions.
He's knocking him into another arena with a whole new kind of palette of objects that you can use in the fight.
So good.
Yeah.
But one of the things I've always loved about Injustice is, it's not just Batman and Joker or whatever. It's you guys kind of get down in the weeds a little bit there on the DC IP, which I think is really smart.
Yeah. We love having the obviously the forefront characters, but we also love the more little less recognizable but very cool characters, and some of them we've we're hoping we can even show more people who've never experienced them, and then get them, they'll be, I'm going to go read a comic about this guy.
I know who this guy is, yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, that was what Injustice 1 was for me. There's so many characters there. I said, that's a DC character?
Yeah.
I never even heard of that guy.
Yeah.
But he ended up being super cool, and ended up really kind of grabbing onto him. So here we have Aquaman. I think Injustice 1, that's great. The little taunt before they fight.
Yeah.
Aquaman in the original Injustice, the most badass Aquaman of all time.
Yeah.
Easily my favorite character in the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little bit cheap. I love his strikes where he can strike anywhere on the screen. But and now we have Supergirl. So tell me a little bit about how Aquaman has kind of made the jump here to Injustice 2.
Yeah.
What we can expect out of Supergirl.
Yeah, one of our goals was we wanted to make the most badass Aquaman that's ever existed.
Yeah.
And his big super with the shark that comes out and grabs the other guy.
So good.
And I think we actually topped it with this version of Aquaman. And Supergirl is, actually we always want to have, girl power in our games.
Of course.
And Supergirl, with her TV show and everything like that. So we really wanted to kind of give her her due representation in the game. But Aquaman Super with this kind of prehistoric shark is even cooler than the last one. So some people who've seen that footage.
Oh, so it's like a megalodon or something?
Oh, it's kind of like a part shark, part dinosaur.
Yeah, that's the best kind of shark. Anytime you have a shark that's part dinosaur,
yeah, that's the Trench Queen. It's all part of Aquaman's lore.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the Aquaman super move.
I hope so.
Get him in here. That'd be
So it looks like we're fighting in Atlantis here?
Yes. Atlantis is one of the 3 arenas that we brought. Atlantis, Metropolis, and Gotham City are the 3 that we brought here. Here's that.
Here we go. Let's see it.
With Aquaman.
Bam. Oh, now I see the dinosaur. That's crazy. So good, so good. So you guys, what are these moves called again? I forget. They're called.
The super moves are like the grand
moves.
over the top moves. That's when you have your bar full,
right,
and you use it all.
Oh, here we go.
Supergirl actually flies her opponent around the sun.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I could watch it all day. That's great.
Yeah.
And you guys must have, when you were making Injustice 2, you must have thought about, hey, do we do a fatality type of system? And I think it's interesting that you kind of took this route instead, because they're a lot of fun to pull off.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff that just, we're the studio that makes Mortal Kombat.
Right.
And so, you know, there are things that we really didn't want to feel confined to, you know, the block button,
right.
fatalities, and all that. And, you know, this is a T-rated game. So we don't want to do all the crazy stuff. That's for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we're a little bit more, like it's a little simpler. It's back to block. It's
right.
it's not holding the block button. So we really want this game to be its own kind of entity with its own rules and its own kind of feature set.
Mm-hmm.
And with the sequel, you know, we were kind of like, okay, of course we're going to bring back the favorite characters. Of course we're going to expand the roster, but we wanted to do something that was unexpected. That's kind of the whole gear system that comes into play.
Which is, I mean, I think is going to work out real nicely. It's a great way to keep people playing. And, you know, I still love these little character selection, taunt, little trading blows thing. That's great. You know, and I've been a big fan of your games for a long time. I mean, I loved Mortal Kombat vs. DC, you know. I loved Mortal Kombat, the reboot, Mortal Kombat X, Injustice. And one of the things that's been so fun to see you guys do is to kind of move more and more towards this kind of narrative system, which is, I think, so powerful and such an important, maybe even underappreciated innovation in fighting games, because you know, hey, not everyone could be a tournament great fighter, right?
Exactly.
I want to sit down maybe and have just like a cool story that I could beat my way through.
Exactly. You know, any game with a roster of characters, you know, Mortal Kombat, one of the things that's always stood out was it had a roster of characters and they had a relationship with each other, and there was a story. And so we started presenting it with the cinematic, you know, method where the player participates in the fighting. You know, and so when we did Injustice, again, it's a perfect marriage. You have Superman and Batman and Aquaman, and they're not talking to each other, they're not acknowledging each other. That's a waste of such a great, you know, opportunity with them. So, you know, we did in Injustice and in Injustice 2, we're going to have a really deep cinematic story experience, like watching a movie. You know, and
or a really good TV show, maybe. You
exactly,
know?
and participating in the fights. Which
is so cool. I love the one in Mortal Kombat X. I mean, Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat the reboot, that was a revelation. And I went, oh God, I didn't know how bad I wanted this. And then in Mortal Kombat X, I felt like it was like almost like perfected. Like it was like the story was really tight. It was really interesting, you know. And I mean, obviously, the Warner Brothers and the DC franchises here, they give you a lot of room to play with.
It was great. We actually managed to carve out our own, you know, slice of the multiverse and say, okay, in our world,
this is our version.
Exactly.
That's
in our
great.
world, Superman is a tyrant.
That's
and
awesome.
These bad things happen to him. And you know, and we have our story arc going. You know, when we the last game, Batman put Superman in prison. And you know, we're going to continue that storyline and find out what happens after that. It's been fun to create all that stuff.
So where is Superman these days? What's he up to?
Well, when we last left him off, he was in prison, and as you might guess, since he's in the game, you know, he may get out. So
I wonder if he could get out of that prison.
Right,
you know,
in some capacity. But yeah, that's part of, I guess, what we're going to be revealing in the next few months is like the details of the story and how cool that's going to be mixed in.
That's awesome, and I'm kind of transfixed here watching Batman do his thing with Supergirl here. Now Batman, obviously, you know, one of the most iconic of all superheroes, and one of my favorite characters, frankly, in the last game. Oh, I like the shadowing effect that's on the wall there. That's really cool.
Yeah, the lighting's really dramatic in this arena.
And I mean, that's one of the nice things here too. When you made Injustice, one of the best looking games on last gen. Absolutely. You guys must have squeezed every pixel out of PS3. And so now you guys are on a whole new hardware baseline. You guys can really turn on the graphics.
Exactly. We've this is a new graphics engine for us. And you know, we have a lot of nuances and details that we weren't able to do before, and you know, our facial animations, you know, much more detail. You know, characters come out just like in Mortal Kombat X. They talk to each other, and they reveal, you know, part of their history. So a lot of times, two people will say something to each other that's, you know, related to, you know, Flashpoint story
Yeah.
or Killing Joke or something like
I
that.
love that.
And people love those little nuggets of nods to previous stories.
Yeah.
that are in it. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that's so great about Mortal Kombat, and then especially Mortal Kombat X, you guys have been so good about supporting these games post-launch with really cool characters. So just kind of want to pick your brain. Do you think a similar strategy is going to apply to Injustice too?
Absolutely. You know, and actually, it's been a progression. If you look back to Mortal Kombat 2011, we had 4 DLC characters that we released. Injustice had 6 DLC characters that reached out. Mortal Kombat X had 8 characters, so you can see where we're going as far as our, we really want the games to be supported not only with DLC characters, but with, in tournaments and prize pools and all that stuff like that. So that's been a great part of making it too.
It's super important, and Ed, you guys, once again, you're doing fine work here as always, so really glad to have you by. PlayStation Livecast here as we're sitting down seeing all the best and brightest at E3, Injustice 2 clearly among that group, so thanks again for coming by.
It wouldn't be an E3 for our company without coming to visit you guys.
I appreciate that, and I'm going to be talking more soon with you, I think.
PlayStation.
You appear feeble.
I punch above my weight.
What do you want, Grodd? Your head on a plate.
Your mind tricks won't harm me.
Then I'll rely on brute strength.
Did I mention I'm an Amazon? Submit to me. Batman sends a child against me?
Ready to level up?
Then let's see what you can do.
I'm doing well so far.
It's too soon to get cocky.
Harley, you're losing control.
It's part of my charm. Stop trying to kill me, will ya? Again! Ready for some slapstick?
New Harley, same crazy.
say that battle changes you. It makes you stronger. More ferocious. A monster in the night. Watching. Learning. Hunting. Each time I enter the pit, I emerge reborn. Put the devil on the other side, and I will show up. Evolved. Adapted. And prepared to fight.